Hi, guys, and welcome back to my podcast. Today, I am going to go through my top 10 list of things that I personally would not waste my money on. Things are hard right now: inflation, cost of living crisis. We need to get creative with how we earn our money, how we spend our money, how we make our money earn us more money, make your money work, right? I'm not a financial professional, okay? So I'm not going to start dishing out advice on how to invest and things like that. But as a regular girl living in London, a very expensive city, I do often think about how I spend my money and if I am spending in the right way and making sure that I'm not falling victim to trends and things like that and things that I just don't need to be spending on. So, in no particular order, I'm going to go through this list with you. Number one, starting with something that I think is very expensive, it's a necessity, but it makes someone else rich, not you. And it's renting. If it can be helped at all, and I know it's hard to, buy a house yourself because the cost of properties is stupid, but renting for me just feels like money down the drain. You get paid, you need a roof over your head, you pay rent to your landlord, and essentially they get richer because ultimately what they're going to do is take that money and use it to pay off the mortgage on the property, which is their investment, not yours. So, what's in it for you? Yes, you get a roof over your head, but that money just disappears. It comes into your account and it disappears, and it doesn't do anything for you financially. So, I personally think renting is a waste of money, and if you can avoid it, try to avoid it at all costs. I know that's a difficult one because I know house prices are ridiculous, but do whatever you can to get on the property ladder and purchase a property so at least the investment comes back into your own financial pocket, is my personal take on things. The second thing that I think is a waste of money is, this is going to be controversial because I know people love a good wedding. And I'm talking about in terms of if it's your wedding, not attending weddings necessarily, although maybe it can tie in some aspects if you're attending. But I just feel like the whole wedding market is inflated exponentially. If you buy a regular cake, fine, it's a regular cake and you pay what you pay for it. Turn it into a wedding cake, and all of a sudden the cost is sky high. You want to book a venue, it's for a wedding, the cost goes up exponentially. You want to buy a dress, okay, dresses, range from whatever amount they do. A wedding dress, the cost goes up exponentially. And I just feel like we live in a day and age where, obviously, with social media and things like that, and photos, and we want to share our lives with our friends and family and our acquaintances on the internet, and even people that we don't know on the internet. If you don't mark your social media as private, everyone wants to share their business and everyone wants to, be seen as, I had a great wedding. Look how beautiful it was. Look how big it was. Look at the decorations. Look how big the cake was. Look how stunning the dress was. Look how stunning the ring is. And I just feel like, is it worth it? Is it really, really worth it? I mean, if I was to get married, I would go with quite a low key wedding personally. I just feel like you don't need to invite absolutely everyone. I think the politics of it, um, in terms of who you invite, are kids allowed? Why are their kids allowed but not someone else's kids? It can turn into such a unnecessary drama, which will create a personal headache and personal conflicts for you in your relationships with your friends and family, but also it costs so much. Is that money better spent elsewhere? Could you just have a smaller ceremony and have like a regular party at some point after it, rather than having the great big wedding shindigs. When the time comes for me to get married, it's going to be a very low-key wedding. Let me tell you that. I'm not wasting money on all the decorations and the band and all that sort of thing. Absolutely not. Number 3 is lunches when you go to work or takeouts. Like if you go to like a sandwich shop in the city, or pretty much anywhere, like a fast food chain in the city, the amount of money that you have to spend on it, and I feel like everything went up exponentially during lockdown or after lockdown because everyone was trying to claw back money that they had lost, right? And it's like you can buy a salad for like a tenner these days. A salad for £10. Sandwiches even will easily come up to like £5, if not more. And it's like, if you made that salad yourself or you made that sandwich yourself, we're literally talking like £1 or two. We don't need to go up to £10 for a salad. It's mind blowing that we're expected to pay so much money for the basic necessities and actually sometimes quite basic food. And I think like takeouts are a tag on of that. So not necessarily when you're at work and you need to go and get a sandwich for lunch. Takeouts in the evenings, yes, it feels like it saves you time and it will save you on washing up and all the rest of it. But do you really need to spend £20 on a pizza? If you made that pizza yourself, again, we're literally talking a few quid here or there. And it's healthier, most likely. You can control what you're putting in your body. So the nutritional value actually is better for you if you just make your food yourself, as well as it being better for you financially. So I need to get better at not buying lunches when I'm in the office, but takeouts, they're an absolute no-no. I just don't do it. Number 4, it's designer clothes. I just don't understand why a piece of fabric that's been sewn together can cost one thing in one shop, but be up in the 100s if you buy it from a designer shop. And I get, there's sometimes differences in the quality of the material, or there'll be better quality checks in general that happen in the background to ensure that your clothes last longer. I get that. So I do expect there to be some differences, but not in the hundreds. I just don't get it. And I just feel like paying for the brand, paying an exponential amount for the brand, it just blows my mind. Like, why would you do it? So I steer clear of designer clothes. However, a little bit of me is a little bit of a snob, because designer bags, I often find the quality is a lot better, and my bags go through hell. I literally batter my bags. So I do tend to buy designer bags where like the leather, it just feels like a stronger, better quality. But I don't buy designer clothes and I don't buy designer shoes. Next up, and this probably should have been number 4 because it comes off quite nicely off lunch and takeouts. But number 5, I've got teas and coffees. When you're out and about and you want a quick drink, why are teas and coffees so bloody expensive? So I like to drink tea, right? Why are teas like £2.50, £3, over £3 sometimes? It's water, tea bag, and a teeny tiny bit of milk. That's all it is. It's pennies. What you get is pennies if you're just having a tea. I just don't understand why they're so expensive if you go to a coffee place or a tea place. So no, I do not waste my money on coffees and teas ever, because it's just marked up stupidly for what it is. And number six, I've put smoking. Now, besides it being a disgusting habit and, it leaves a bad smell on your fingers and just on you in general, and it's not good for your teeth and cancer and all the rest of it, smoking is a waste of money. And that's all I have to say on that. It's a waste of money. It's not all I have to say. I don't. I mean, I come from a generation where when I was in high school, smoking was like the cool thing to do, right? Um, and yes, it's an addictive thing to do. It's easy to get addicted to it. But who the hell invented cigarettes and smoking? Like, it's bad for you. They don't come cheap. What's the benefit? I just don't understand what the benefit of smoking is. So it's a waste of money. And then next, which rolls quite nicely off smoking because I feel like it's a cultural thing sometimes, it's alcohol. So, look, don't get me wrong, I enjoy a glass of wine. I do. I enjoy a cocktail. Like the sun is shining today and it just puts me in the mood for a nice tropical sweet cocktail. But I generally only drink alcohol. I'm a social drinker. I drink alcohol when I'm out with friends or if I'm at an event or a party of some sort. But I don't really drink alcohol just on my own at home with dinner. Um, I just don't see the purpose of it. And again, it's very expensive. Um, and yeah, I just don't really. I guess, sometimes on an evening, it might take the edge off the day if you've had a really long, hard day. But it's a really quick edge that wears off very quickly. When by the time you get home from work and you've had dinner and you've had your glass of wine, you're going to be asleep in no time. So I don't know if alcohol is something that is worth spending money on, like a great deal amount of money on, unless you're doing it socially. And again, there's the health factor as well that you need to factor in to alcohol, because obviously it's not great for your liver, it's not great for your skin, it leaves you dehydrated. And some people, it's very addictive, so some people can't quite limit how much they drink, and it can lead to negative impacts on your life as well as the financial hit. The next thing I've got on my list here is trends and anything that's just gone viral. I used to be such a sucker for things that were trendy. I had FOMO. I didn't want to be left out. I wanted to experience what everyone else was. Um, it's not worth it because trends expire. They don't last. It will be old news in a matter of months, or depending on what it is in a year or so. And then it will just sit in your wardrobe, or it will just sit in your house, or you'll just have to look at it every day and go, oh, you look so dated. And it's just not worth the money most of the time. I think it's important to be sensible with the things that you spend your money on and make sure that they are timeless classics. So I'm kind of like, where my mind is, I'm thinking about fashion, I'm thinking about home decor. I've renovated my house recently, and I was very careful to stay away from current trends, especially in the kitchen, especially with how I've painted the walls. Everything that's like set in stone and fixed and quite hard and expensive to change, I was very conscious not to follow a trend and just keep it classic, keep the colours neutral, and I add pops of colour and fashion things through things that are much more interchangeable as opposed to what's fixed onto the walls. And then with regards to fashion trends come and go all the time. And that's what fast fashion is. So even if you're not buying the designer clothes, number 4 on my list here, even if you do go to more affordable outlets, again, it's just fast fashion, and you'll buy it, you'll wear it a few times, by next year it's over and done with, and you probably won't wear it again. So I think trends and anything that's gone viral are things to steer clear of, and just try and keep to timeless classics or things that you can wear in a multitude of ways. Next is subscriptions. And for me personally, it's like a membership to a gym, a subscription to a gym. That's the thing that I feel like I've wasted money on in the past and I would never do again. Mainly because unless you're a gym buff and you do make the time to go 3 or 4 times a week, I just don't know if it's value for money over the course of the month. I used to go once or twice a week max. But then, obviously, being a woman, I get my period. There'll be a week where I just do not want to deal with anything to do with anything. I just switch off. I hibernate, basically. So you lose a week there. And it's like, oh, for 3 weeks, that membership, and you only go like what, 6 times over the course of the entire month in a good month. That's a waste of money for me. And I just feel like I can go for a run around my local area. You could buy yourself some weights and have them at home and just use them leisurely as and when you want. You don't need to make that trip to the gym. It's just that you could be working out whilst watching EastEnders. So yeah, I feel like for me personally, signing up to a gym is a waste of money because I can stay active and stay fit without having to go to the gym and spend the money on the gym. Also, subscriptions to things like Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime. If you're not going to use it, or if you use it on a minimum scale, is it worth it? So I don't subscribe to Spotify because actually you can still use Spotify and enjoy Spotify just with the ads. And that's okay. Like, again, my generation, I grew up listening to the radio, and you would get ads and you would get the radio host talking over your favorite music. I grew up before streaming was a thing, and we only had the channels on the TV and you had to wait for the ads to roll. It's not that big a deal. So Spotify, I don't spend any money on. I'm on the free subscription and it does me just fine. So yeah, subscriptions, unless you're using it a lot and you can justify the cost, it's just not worth the money. Think about how much you use over the course of that month, and does it add up to what you're spending? And finally, number 10 on my list, and I swear by this, is phone plans. I have a SIM only contract. I buy the phone outright, the SIM goes in, and me and that phone are best buddies for the next 10 years. And I've done the math, and it does work out a hell of a lot cheaper to do it that way than to have a monthly phone plan where, you these days you can easily hit like close to £100 per month on your phone plan for your internet and your roaming and this, that, and the other. But if you buy a SIM only phone plan, there are plans out there where you get quote unquote, check the terms and conditions, unlimited internet. There's usually some sort of fair use, like a fair use, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the amount that you use, they won't let you go way above it, but it's a decent amount that they often have. And actually, I think EE do something where if you do use up your internet data, they have like an emergency thing where you can use the most vital apps on your phone. So you can carry on using WhatsApp, for example. And it's like, well, what else do we need our internet for then? Like, what are you, unless you're gaming and you're streaming and you're watching YouTube and countless amounts of Instagram reels on your phone whilst you're out and about, or if you're traveling and you need roaming, like lots of roaming, you don't really need to be spending that amount of money on a monthly plan just for the extended amount of internet time, you know? So I think it's important to get your head around what you get on that monthly plan, what you get on a SIM-only plan, and if you can deal with the SIM-only plan, like how much are you actually using your phone, and will the emergency data kick in a way that suits you on the SIM-only plan? I feel like the one perk of having a actual phone plan, like the more expensive phone plan, is that you get to update your phone a lot more often. Whereas my phone, we're going to have to stick together for the next 10 years. There will come a point where it starts to slow down and it starts to wind me up. But ultimately, it will do the job. Like, I don't spend a huge amount of time on my phone, to be honest. I make phone calls, I WhatsApp, I browse my social media. That's pretty much it. So that kind of, like, the SIM-only plan works for me if you're using your phone in kind of like the basic manner anyway, which I feel like most of us do. So it's only really if you're traveling lots and you need the internet, or if you maybe, I know a lot of people use their phone to film and take photos and they get really into it, then yeah, sure, you might need a phone that is up to date and is up to date with current day video or photographic quality. But I don't do stuff like that, so it doesn't really matter for me. So I'm quite happy using a SIM only plan. I can't remember off the top of my head what my plan is. I feel like it's less than £20 a month, which is huge compared to the, I think it was £86 a month that they initially tried to sign me up for. And I was like, no, I think you've misunderstood. I just want a SIM only contract. So brought the phone outright. It cost like £1,000. Got the SIM only contract. Boom, done. And it won't take long for me to pay off the phone versus if I had just bought the monthly plan. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, phone plans I think are a waste of money. Stick to SIM only if you can. And yeah, that's it. That is my top 10 list of things that I would not waste my money on. If there's anything else that you guys think is a waste of money, let me know. Put it in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well, because that would really help me out to grow this podcast. But yeah, I just wanted to share my top 10 list of things that I wouldn't waste my money on, because it's so important to save and not be throwing your money down the drain. And so, yeah, that's all from me. Until next time, I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.